Hello my friends and welcome back to another tutorial, and today we have a lovely piece of loin of pork, and what we're going to do with this is we're going to debone it, we're going to remove the skin, and we're going to butterfly it open. And we've got some lovely ingredients here, some ginger, garlic, chili and coriander. We're going to make a sort of Thai style marinade, and we're going to lay that on the butterflied pork and roll it back up into a nice pork roulade. So first thing that we need to do is we'll just set these to one side to begin with, and we'll work with the pork. So this is from the middle of the loin. You can see here these are the last two ribs, and then we're into the vertebrae bones here. So to remove the bones from this, all we're going to do is run the knife just down the back of those bones. You can see they come away nice and easy, and we're just on the start of the vertebrae, so we'll just cut down the back of there. Just sort of pry the meat away. It comes out nice and clean. You want to be able to see nice clean bones, means you haven't wasted a lot of meat. So this piece of pork is probably about £2 in weight, or just short of a kilo in new money. So what we're going to do now is I'm just cutting down onto the skin. And we're just going to seam that skin away from the meat, and you can see it comes away nice and easy. Of course you could keep this on if you wanted, or you could do it separately if you wanted some nice pork skin, some pork crackling, or you could take it off, score it with your knife, and then tie it back on the top, so it would come away nice and easy once you've cooked it. But we're not going to bother with this for this particular recipe. What I am going to do is I'm going to take the chain muscle off, which is just here, just a little bit tougher than the rest of the pork, and we'll find a use for that in sausages or something like that. So you can see there we've got that lovely piece of middle loin of pork. Now what we're going to do is butterfly this open. So to do that, all we're going to do is cut down, and we're just going to roll it open, and we're going to try and keep it nice and uniformly thick. So we're aiming for that sort of thickness right the way down. And we've just got to unravel it, and just take your time so that you don't cut right the way through. Once you've done this a few times, it's really dead easy. So I'm making a nice big large surface area. And there you can see that's relatively uniform all the way. You can see it's a little bit thicker there. So all I have to do is just gently run the knife down and stretch it out a little bit. So easy as that. So the idea is we'll put the other ingredients in here, we roll it back up into a nice sort of roulade. You can see roughly the idea that we're going for. But if you don't like these ingredients, these are sort of a Thai, maybe Thai sort of influence, replace it with whatever you want. Personal favourite is a lovely sage and onion stuffing. If you want to go traditional, maybe some diced apples in there as well. But we'll set this to one side, and I'll just prepare the ingredients to stuff this. Okay, so to prepare the other ingredients, all I've done is finely slice a medium-sized red chilli. Depending on how spicy you like it, you can leave the seeds in, take them out. Use a milder chili if you want. Don't use as much, or leave it out altogether. And I've also finely shred some coriander in there, just the leaves. Again, just on your taste. Small piece of ginger here, a couple of cloves of garlic. Now what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to grind them in the pestle and mortar. I'm going to use some sea salt, as that's quite abrasive. It's going to help sort of break it down a little bit. So just a little bash, just to break it up a little bit to start with. And grind it up. It's just into a nice paste. There you can see that's going into a lovely paste. Now we'll just add chilli and coriander just into there. I'm just going to add a little bit of oil to let it down. Turn it into more, or turn it into a better consistency, sorry, for spreading onto our pork. Excuse the noise. And we'll just give that a little mix up. The smells are incredible. If you like that sort of thing, like I said before, you can use whatever you want to go inside this pork. So with the pork, what we're going to do is just look to spread this as evenly as we can. Just leave any excess oil behind in the pestle and mortar. And we're going to crack some black pepper on there. And there's probably plenty of salt already in there from grinding the garlic and ginger, so we won't bother with any more of that. Now, because these are quite powerful, strong flavours, I haven't gone overboard on the quantity that I've used, and it's quite a small piece of pork anyway, so a covering like that looks more than ample to me. And what we're going to do is we're going to roll it from, this is the last part that we butterflied, so we started at this end and worked out this way, so we're going to start rolling back from the far end. Just keep it nice and tight and try to keep everything inside. Of course it doesn't matter if it comes out a little bit. There you can see that's nice and neat. And if you bear with me 2 seconds, I'll wash my hands and we'll tie this up. Okay, so the next thing to do is we're going to tie this up. Now, I've done a video on how to tie a butcher's knot. I'll leave a link to that video in the description. I'll also leave a link to an Amazon link, sorry, that you can buy this butcher's twine from. You need to use good stuff that's safe to go in the oven if you're going to do any sort of home butchery. So all we're doing is just a couple of knots just to hold this together. And yes, my knife does need a good sharpen. So like I say, just a couple of strings. I'll start in the middle, then one on each side. Quite slippery with all the oil in there, but again, that's going to help it cook as well. It's going to give it a lovely brown. Lovely bit of browning on the outside. And every time you pull in the pork, just sort of shape it exactly how you want it. And then finally I'll just pop one knot to cross them over and hold everything in from the sides. And that should be enough to hold it in place. So there you can see there's that lovely pattern. I think once this is set a little bit better and once it's cooked and we can slice it, you'll see that sort of spiral a lot better. But there's enough oil from our marinade just coating the top there. Now I've got the oven on at 180 degrees in a fan oven, 190 if you don't have a fan. And this is probably going to take a good hour and a half, but the best way with something like this to test if it's cooked properly is to buy yourself a meat probe. Again, I'll leave a link down in the descriptions to an Amazon link where you can buy your own. It'll only cost you a couple of quid, and it's really a worthwhile investment because you know it's going to be cooked spot on every time. So we'll get this in the oven and I'll show you the results once we bring it out. Okay, my friends, we have it out the oven and we've been resting it here for about 10 minutes. And I must admit, I sliced the end off and squared it up and tried it, and it is beautiful. Honestly, it's probably the tastiest piece of pork I've had in a long, long time. So, just wrapped it in a little bit of aluminium foil to retain some of the heat while we've been resting it. And you can see, look at the juice that's come off it, look how sappy it is. It's going to be beautiful and tender and lovely and juicy as well. So I'll cut a couple of slices. There you can see that lovely pinwheel effect. I must admit, it's probably not as impressive as something with a little bit more volume. Say we were to stuff it with something that would take up a little bit more space, and you would really, really see that pinwheel effect. But I will argue the case for doing it this way because you have increased the surface area of the pork, and therefore the taste that you get with it is just beautiful. Seriously, if you can do this weekend, if you'd like to try it, please do, because it is just so gorgeous. It's dead easy. It's a handful of ingredients, and sometimes I think keeping it simple is the best way, and I can honestly vouch for this. This will be one of the tastiest pieces of pork you have ever had. Trust me on that. So thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the episode. If you have, please leave a like or subscribe to the channel if you want to see some regular updates, and feel free to request any videos that you'd like and I'll try my best to accommodate you all. But once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.